my channel. It's me, Brianna, or welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about my life as a new graduate registered nurse, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and just keep on watching to see what I have to say. It's actually pretty interesting, so you don't want to miss out. I just started working as a registered nurse December 3rd, 2018. I became certified August 27th of 2018, and then I took a hiatus from applying for jobs, and then I applied for some jobs, and I was chilling and a little stressed, and then I got a job. So then I started December 3rd. I found that I got the job like after Mom's birthday. I have a whole video on that, so check out that video. But I started working, and 2 weeks I was in the classroom, and basically you're just getting oriented to the hospital if you're gonna work in a hospital. Well, for me, I'm just gonna say what happened for me. So for 2 weeks I was getting oriented to the hospital. I had to do this thing called Learning Harbor, which is just like all the policies of the hospital. Then I had to learn like certain procedures and like techniques that I will be doing as a registered nurse all the time. Like for instance, doing finger sticks, so I had to learn how to use the glucometer, their version of it, because a lot of this stuff to me was similar to I felt like I was in clinical. So I learned how to clean like a central line. I was learning how to put a Foley catheter in. They were showing me what I needed to learn for my unit technically, and a little bit more. I was also learning, well, not learning, they also showed me how to do manual blood pressure, but in my school you had to know how to do that, so I knew how to do that already. I knew how to put in a Foley. I was also learning how to do like document on pressure ulcers. I learned how to chart, because when you're in clinicals as a nursing student, you don't really chart. You just tell the nurse what information you have, like for intake. Wow, my camera's really freaking out. For like intake and output. Literally I was just learning all the basic stuff that I would need to do as my duty as a nurse for that patient. So I was learning that was for 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks they're like, okay, like you know everything, you did everything already, now it's time to go to the floor. Oh, I also learned how to draw blood, get started IV. So basically I was just learning all the basics that you would need to learn on the floor. That, say for instance, it was just like bridging the gap between me being a nursing student and me becoming an RN. Basically, that's what it was. And for those 2 weeks, you do get paid because it is your orientation to the hospital, and your position starts the day that you get orientation. So then after 2 weeks, they're like, okay, you're ready. So I go to the floor and I meet my preceptor, which she's freaking amazing. I love her. Like, she is like, I'm so glad I got paired with such a good nurse, because there's some nurses that have an attitude, or they're slow, or they're disorganized, and you don't want to be paired with them when you're a new graduate, because you need structure and you need somebody who's willing to answer every single question that you have, and they don't make you feel stupid. And you also want to try to build a connection with your preceptor, because when you are working by yourself, you're going to want to be able to lean on somebody. You need that support in your work environment, and I totally have that from her and some other nurses as well that are on my unit, which I really appreciate them, because I am a new grad at the end of the day, and I'm not 100% comfortable, and I don't think that you should be super comfortable, because if you get too comfortable, that's when you can make mistakes. But you don't want to be uncomfortable either. You always want to have like that nervous feeling, but not to the point where you're unable to do your work. And I feel like I have like a little balance, and obviously there are still things that I need to work on. But okay, so I got in the unit 2 weeks later, started with my preceptor. I did one day, it was only for 8 hours because I came at 7, so I only did 7 to 3. And then the next week after that, they started me immediately doing 12-hour shifts. Now, I was so nervous for 12-hour shifts, like completely 100% nervous. I was like, wow, I don't know if I can last. I don't know if I'm going to get cranky. I don't know if I'm going to get tired. But honestly, I love it. I love doing 12 hours because I only work 3 times a week, or for 3 weeks, and then 1 week I have to work 4 days, if that makes sense. Like I have to work 3 times for 3 weeks in the month, and then 1 week I work 4 days because I have to do 13 shifts. But I genuinely like it, and I only have to do 3 weekend days a month, which it's okay. Like I'd rather not work weekends, but you know, in this profession you have to, so gotta suck it up. But I was nervous for the 12-hour shifts, and let me tell you that the first time I did 12 hours flew by. It felt kind of like normal. Like once I hit 3, I was like, oh, like I'm still here. But then after that, those hours, they fly by because you have so much to do and you're always busy. That's what I like. I'm always busy and there's not that much downtime, so the time goes by quickly. And when I do have downtime, I try to like read my patients like H&P like thoroughly, so I know them really well. So if I get asked questions about them, I know them. And yeah, that's my tip for that. But yeah, so basically when you get on a unit, when you're new, depending on your hospital, they decide how long your orientation with a preceptor is going to be. It's pretty much how you're doing. It's a very personal thing. So some people could get 3 months, some people could get 2 months, 1 month. It just depends how long you need somebody else. So basically what my preceptor showed me was literally how to be a nurse. Like literally, like she taught me how to be a nurse. Obviously you put your own twist on things, but yeah, even the way that I have everything structured is kind of similar to her. Like there's some things that are different, but I really liked her organization skills and how she got tasks done, and that's very important. You're gonna be very organized and have a to-do list when you're at work, because you don't want to forget anything you have to do, because the worst thing to do is forget something and pass it on to the next shift. She taught me like when you get there in the morning, you get a report, you look through your patient's chart, you look at their orders, which is like all what the MD ordered. You look at all those things, and then after you do that, you start pulling meds. After you pull meds, you do finger sticks for the diabetics. After you do finger sticks, you look at what your day is going to consist of basically, and that's how your day is going to pan out. So once I do the finger sticks, I start giving my 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock meds. After I give meds, and sometimes before I give meds, like while I'm doing finger sticks, I'll do wound care as well. And like obviously when you get your patient, you have to go check to make sure like, you know, they're still there, they're alive. I'm not being sarcastic. And while you're doing that, you could fill out, you know, the whiteboard that's in the room, and you could also look at their wounds or their incisions if they had surgery. After you do that, then you could give medications, or that's how I go. Then I give medications. Sometimes if the person doesn't want me to do their wound care at that moment, I'll do their wound care in the mid-afternoon before lunch. So after I give medications, that takes me about like an hour and a half, depending on how many patients I get in this facility. I get 8 to 10 patients. So yeah, that takes me a minute, and some people have a lot of medications, and there's a lot to do for them, because some people have pressure ulcers, skin tears, their surgical incisions. Some of them are high risk for fall, so you have to make sure that they're safe and that their bed alarm is on, and you have to just make sure that they're okay. Some people just arrived, so you have to do second day skin assessment. Then there's so much documenting after that. So I give my medications. After I give my medications, I document. And this is all what my preceptor showed me. I'm just saying it like that I'm doing it because that's what I'm doing. After I do that, I document, and then the same routine just kind of goes throughout the day. And obviously there's always things that can like happen, like critical lab values come back. You have to call the doctor, and then you have to go see what the doctor wants. If the doctor wants you to do repeat labs, or they don't want you to do anything at all because it's not that serious. While you're trying to do meds as well, your patients want pain medication, so you have to do that. You also have to document literally everything that you do, because if you don't document, it didn't happen. And that is true, and they tell you that in nursing school, and it's so true. If you do not document, it did not happen. So you need to document everything that you do for that one person, and just multiply all these things by 10. Yes, I do this times 10 or times 9. Sometimes, you know, it's a little less. So she taught me that, and literally at first I was super overwhelmed. I felt like I didn't know anything. I felt like a dumbass, like, not to curse, but I just felt dumb. It was just a lot of new information, a lot of new things at once. What I recommend is when you have your preceptor, ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions. I'm telling you guys that is the prime moment of when you're gonna learn everything and create your good or bad habits. So you need to have somebody that you can ask questions. Like obviously you have so many questions because you've never done this before. You're a new graduate, so don't feel dumb or anything like that. Even though I felt dumb, but I got over that so fast. I was like, F this. I'm a new graduate. I don't care. I'm gonna ask questions. They may sound like they're stupid, or they may be really good questions. And she told me I asked thorough questions, which I appreciated, because I have no problem asking questions, honestly. I'm just that person that if I don't know something, I'd rather ask and then find out and remember the answer, because the worst thing to do is act like you know, and then you F up really bad, and it comes back to biting your ass. And remember, your license is on the line every single day while you're at work, and it's constantly, you're reminded of that. So yeah, I was with my preceptor. I basically, my schedule was like her schedule, so every time I was there, I was mostly with her. There was like a few days when she had like a vacation time, or where she, like, my manager couldn't make it exactly the same, and I would have another nurse, and I just really preferred my preceptor because I got so used to like our routine that when I was with somebody else, it kind of threw me off a little bit. But after basically a month and a half, my nurse manager wanted to take me off orientation, and I did not agree. I was like, I'm not ready. I think it's too soon. Yes, I may seem like I'm comfortable. Yes, I may be doing everything correctly, but I feel like there's still a lot more that I need to learn, and there still is to this day right now. So she was like, okay. And then I also had a meeting with the nurse educator and the nursing director, nursing assistant nursing director, yes. All three of us had a meeting, and they decided, that I want to have like an extra, basically a month. So my precepting orientation phase was literally only 2 months. Yeah, 2 months and a half. 2 months and a half, almost 3 months. So 2 months and a half. The last week that I was on orientation, they were weaning me off of having my preceptor, which I was kind of sad about. I wish we could be partners all the time. Like, having a partner is like amazing, but then again, you're supposed to be able to work with all your co-workers. But I mean, like, literally like sharing patients, I loved it with her. Only with her though, like I really enjoyed it, and like 2 other nurses. It was like amazing. But so they weaned me off, and then I slowly got, so I had like 4 patients by myself, then I had 6 patients, and I had 8, and then they were like, you're good to go, push, get into it. So I wasn't like thrown into it, but at the same time, it's like, are you ever gonna feel ready? And for me as a person, I always want extra support, so I knew I just had to be thrown into it. And it's been like 2 weeks that I've had my own patients, literally. It's kind of cool to say that I have my own patients, and that like I'm basically in charge of them. At the end of the day, the patients are in charge of you, and the doctor just tells you what to do. But the patients do respect you. If you respect your patients, they will respect you. I don't know why I sound like a teacher. Anyways, so it's been 2 weeks that I have my own patients, and I'm super proud of myself. And there's so many moments that I still have so many questions that I ask. I always ask, and my coworkers, I keep saying peers, my coworkers are always asking me like, are you okay? Do you need anything? Even the aides, because everybody knows that I'm a new graduate, and I just love the support that I am receiving from my unit. Like, but it's been going really well, like really well, and I just attest that to myself for being super determined to get things done and to learn and to actually absorb the information that I was being told with my doing like orientation and with my preceptor. But I also really like have to give my preceptor like a pat on her back, because she taught me majority of the things that I know. Like, obviously some things you know, well, most things, well, no, some things like I do know from nursing school and from clinical and stuff, but every facility works different. So the way that I do my routine and the way that I do certain things is because of my preceptor, and then I put my own little twist on it, because that's just what happens naturally in life. You just put your own little twist on everything. I really like it. Like, literally, I think it was the second day I was on the floor, and this was during orientation. I was so freaking happy. Like, you would not believe. Like, I was like, oh my god, like, am I really a nurse? Like, are they referring to me as a nurse? And then on my badge it says like RN, and everybody's, well, a lot of the patients are like, oh my god, are you an RN, or you're a nursing student? And I was like, no, I'm a registered nurse. They're like, whoa, you're so young, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 22. They're like, wow, that's such an amazing accomplishment, blah blah blah. And I also took care of a patient that she was a nurse, and she gave me like a lot of good life lessons, and I'm gonna let you guys know just in case you guys are new graduate nurses. And one of them was, don't let people take advantage of you just because of the salary you make, because as a nurse, everybody knows you do make a pretty good salary, and especially at this age, it's like amazing. So don't let people take advantage of you. There may be people there cheering for you in your corner, but really just trying to use you for what you're making, for what you got and what you deserve. So don't let that happen, and just don't be naive. Do not be naive. be on your A game, save a lot of your money because you're probably making more than you need. So save a lot of your money because you never know what's going to happen. And yeah, right now it seems great, but when you get older and you want kids, it's not enough. So you need to be smart with your money as well. But also that doesn't mean not to have fun and like do things that you always wanted to do, because now you can fully support yourself. So that's just one lesson that I want to give. I'll probably do a video on like some things I've learned, the responsibility that comes with having like a legit career, because I think that could help anybody at this age, because I'm learning a lot. But yeah, so that's basically where I'm at now. I have my own patients. I have 8 to 10 patients, which is, we call it a district, and my patients seem to really enjoy me. A lot of them have complimented me as being like a great nurse, blah blah blah. And oh my god, I'm gonna get emotional. But it's something that I don't ever want to lose. I don't want to be that grouchy nurse that's such a bitch, because it's just like, why are you in this profession if you don't want to deal with people, basically? Like, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I love helping people. It brings me so much joy. And sometimes, yes, you do have those annoying patients, you do have those needy patients that overexert you purposely, and sometimes they don't do it purposely, but at the end of the day, after you help them, you're gonna feel so good, because this is what 4 years, if you have your bachelor's, or more if it took you longer, which is fine, to become a nurse, this is what you've been working towards. This is like basically the gratitude that you've been looking for, and it's super rewarding. It's a very rewarding job. It's very hard. It's a lot of critical thinking. There's a lot that you put at stake every time you walk into your job, and you do put your license on the line at certain points. But just be smart about it. Have that insurance, the nursing insurance. Your job also should provide you insurance as well as coverage for you, and just be happy. Like, if you're not enjoying it, then either the unit is not for you, the people, like your coworkers, are not making it good for you, or you just don't enjoy being a nurse, and that is fine. There's plenty of different types of nursing that you can do. The nursing that I am talking about is in a hospital, but there's so many different types of nursing. So just because you don't like a certain thing doesn't mean that you chose the wrong career. It just may be the wrong place or the wrong setting. So just think about that before you think that you decided to do the wrong thing. I want to tell you guys, like, if you're in school still, keep pushing. It does get better, because nursing school is so freaking hard. Like, it's so hard, and some information you will not be using in your unit or your specialty, but you know, you need to know that information just in case you want to, you know, travel throughout nursing, like do different types of nursing. And also, I wanted to mention I am working with adults, but you know, I love adults. I love the elders. So but yeah, I don't know, I'm just really happy with how things are right now. I'm really enjoying my career, and I still can't believe that I legit have a whole ass career. Like, I'm shocked. Like, I have a whole ass career. I'm a whole RN. Like, oh my god, it makes me so excited just to think about, and I'm so proud of myself. But I just want you guys to remember, don't ever get too comfortable, because when you get too comfortable, that's when mistakes can be made. And just try to build good habits, and don't be scared though. Like, I'm not trying to scare you guys. Like, you don't want to go to work every day petrified of what you're doing, but don't get too comfortable. Always be on your toes and pay attention to everything. And if you just see something that seems odd about a patient, or a patient's acting weird, or their lab value, something's like off, or you're critically thinking and you're putting so many things together and things are weird and the doctor has not made moves, or even if they have, still mention it to them, bring it to people's attention, because sometimes people don't catch things because there's so much things that are going on in life and with your patient, and most people have more than one patient. So yeah, and also just try to really know your patients good, because if a patient codes, they're coming after you. They want to, you the nurse that's been working with them for, let's say, an hour or for 7 hours, they want you to give them everything about them. So just try to know your patients as much as possible. And yeah, that's just tea on my life right now as a RN, a new graduate registered nurse, and I love it. I am so happy. Like, I'm genuinely happy with my career choice, and I just hope everybody can find a career that they're super ecstatic about. I just wanted to fill you guys in on that, and I just wanted to let you guys know also that I didn't expect to be so exhausted. That's another thing. I'm genuinely like I'm a tired person. I think I've told you guys this before, but I'm always tired to a certain extent, but lately I've been exhausted, and that's because I am working 12-hour shifts, and that takes a lot of energy out of your soul. Because imagine you're working 12-hour shifts, you're interacting with so many people for 12 hours, you have 10 patients or however many patients you have, whether they're critical or not. It's a lot, and there's a lot of thinking involved, and when you think a lot, you do get tired, whatever. So I've been tired, and as you guys can see, I haven't been putting that many videos on my YouTube channel, but I'm getting better with it, and I'm learning how to like manage my time out of work better, because like in work I'm learning that as well. Time management is huge, and I'm still working on that, and I'm not the best at it, but out of work I'm trying to get better with my time management and make time for my family, make time for my friends, and make time for you guys and create amazing content. So I hope you guys are like sticking with me through this, and if you guys have, I really appreciate it, and I will be pumping out like a lot more content because I'm getting back on it, because for a minute there I was like super consistent, and I need to get back to that because I genuinely love it, and it makes me so happy, and I've missed you guys, and thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching this video, and I wish you guys the best, and just check out, you know, my channel, subscribe, and it's gonna be a lit year for us. So I hope you guys are ready, and yeah, so that's just my little update for how it is for me personally as a new graduate registered nurse, and that's just a little tea. If I forgot anything, just ask me questions down below and I would totally answer them in the comments. I don't mind. I just will not answer where I work, but or how much money I make, but anything else I will answer. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.